Hello everyone, this is Ishwandeep kaur of class 10th D, and today we are going to start with chapter 1 of geography, that is resources and development. So the topic which I am going to cover is land resources. So let's begin with the chapter and the topic. Before starting, let's once go through the mind map for the topic land resources. So what are land resources? The resources available from the land are called as land resources. The next is land distribution. So land in India is distributed among three landforms. These are mountains, plains and plateaus. The next is land utilization. Land utilization refers to a way in which the land is being used. Land in India is basically used for agricultural purpose, for mining or for wastelands, etc. The last is land resources available in India and its pattern of use. So now let's start with the first topic, that is land resources. So what are land resources? Land resources means the resources available from the land. All the processes and features of land that satisfy certain human needs are termed as land resources. The examples of land resources are fossil fuels. When dead animals and plants are buried under the layer of soil after millions of years, due to high pressure and high temperature, these get converted into fossil fuels. The examples of fossil fuels are coal, petroleum, etc. The next is minerals. So minerals are naturally occurring substances which are generally solid, inorganic and have definite chemical composition. The examples of minerals are iron ore, quartz, silver, gold, etc. The next is forests, flora and fauna. So flora and fauna refers to plants and animals belonging to certain region or an area. So the question that rises here is, why land resources are so important? It is because it supports natural vegetation. So natural vegetation refers to plants that grow on their own without any human interference or human aid. Therefore, land resources supports the growth of natural vegetation, wildlife, human life, economic activities, transport and communication system. Therefore, land resources play a major role in our life. Let us try to understand with an example. If we want to establish industries or housing facilities, we need land. If we want food, crops are also grown on land. Therefore, land resource is a natural resource of utmost importance. But it is an asset of a finite magnitude. So finite here means limited. Therefore, it is important to use the available land for various purposes with careful planning so that these can be made available for present as well as for future use. So now let's start with the next topic, that is distribution of land under important relief features. So relief features here refers to mountains, plains and plateaus. India had land under a variety of relief features. The first point is 43% of land area is plain and is used for agriculture and industry. Plain areas are rich in nutrients and have a fertile soil. Therefore, activities such as agriculture and industries are promoted here. The second is 30% of areas are acquired by mountains, ensuring the facilities for tourism and perennial flow of river. Mountains are a site of tourist attraction. Therefore, these ensures the facilities for tourism and also the perennial flow of river. So, perennial here means throughout the year. Perennial rivers are such rivers which depends upon the rainfall and the ice melting from the mountains for the flow of water, and mountains ensure the perennial flow of such rivers. The last is 27% of area is plateau region, which possesses the reserves of minerals, fossil fuels and forests. So now let's once go through the book. The topic now we are going to start is land utilization. So land utilization refers to a way in which the land is being used or for which purpose the land is being used. Land resources are used for the following purposes. The first is forests. Some part of the land is covered by forest and therefore cannot be used for cultivation, while some other part of the land which had been destroyed or had lost its fertility is either used as barren and wasteland or put to other non-agricultural uses such as constructions of buildings, roads, factories, etc. Other uncultivated lands, which includes permanent pastures and grazing lands. So permanent pastures and grazing lands are those lands which are used for the grazing of domestic animals. But the main difference between these two are permanent pastures are the lands which are produced by intensive agricultural practices such as seeding, irrigation, using of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, etc. While grazing lands are naturally produced. The second is land under miscellaneous tree crops. These are the trees which grow naturally and that land cannot be used for cultivation. And the next is cultivable wasteland. Such land are left uncultivated for more than 5 agricultural years. The next point is fallow lands. So fallow lands are the lands which are left uncultivated for a short period of time so that they can regain their fertility. And these are of two kinds. The first is current fallow. Current fallow are the land which are left uncultivated for 1 or less than 1 agricultural year, while the second is other than current fallow land. So these are the land which are left uncultivated for 1 to 5 agricultural years. And the last is net sown area. So net sown area is when one crop is grown on a land in a year, while the cross cropped area is when more than one crop is grown on a land in a single year. So now let's begin with the next topic, that is land use pattern in India. Before starting, let's first understand what is land use pattern. So land use pattern refers to the way which determines how a particular piece of land will be used in a planned manner. The land use is determined by the first is physical factors such as topography, climate, soil types, etc. The second is human factors such as population density, technological capability, culture and traditions. So land resources in India are primarily divided into agricultural land, forest land, land meant for pasture and grazing, and wasteland. So wasteland includes rocky, arid and desert areas which cannot be used for agricultural purposes and for non-agricultural purposes such as housing, roads and industry. So the last topic is changing land use pattern. So now we are going to discuss some of the reasons which has led to a certain change in land use pattern. So the first is population. India is the second most populous country. Having such a large population, the consumption of land resources have also increased. Also because of the more population, the demand of food has been increased and more land have been invested for agricultural purposes, thus causing the change in land use pattern. The third is after Green Revolution. So Green Revolution refers to the time from 1950s to 1960s. During this time, seeds like HIVs were introduced to increase the yield. So after the Green Revolution, development works and infrastructural facilities, which includes the construction of buildings, factories, roads, etc. The clearing of forest land is being done at a higher pace, which caused the change in land use pattern. Industrialization and urbanization has also decreased the forest area. The last point is advanced technology had put the land more in agricultural use or for mining purpose, degrading the land. More advanced the technology will be, more effectively that land will be used. So in case of agriculture, pesticides, chemical fertilizers, weedicides have been introduced, which are degrading the soil fertility, destroying the soil fertility. While in the case of mining, the machineries are used for the mining purposes and that land is being degraded. So that was all in my topic. Thanks.